As I mentioned earlier today, the Biden administration releasing their review of the disastrous Afghan withdrawal.
What mistakes does the president believe he made?
I'm not going to speak for the president on that score. What I can tell you is that, again, we've done a good faith effort here to work through the lessons learned of this withdrawal.
Again, that was John Kirby with the National Security Council in the White House. Joining me now to discuss this and much more, Congressman Byron Donalds. He serves on the House Financial Services Committee and the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. He represents the 19th Congressional District of Florida. Congressman Donalds, welcome back to Washington Watch.
It's good to be back with you. Thanks for having me on.
So, Congressman, you're a member of the Oversight Committee. Chairman Comer saying he's going to hold a hearing on the 19th. Let me get your response to the report from the Biden administration on the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Well, look, I think that seeing a report is a good thing, but we're going to dig into this in a much more meaningful way. Look, you got to understand that the Inspector General actually had a report on this the summer of 2021 that, I went back and read. It's a classified report demonstrating that what was happening on the ground in Afghanistan was not primed for a U.S. withdrawal, and that an expedited withdrawal that Joe Biden initiated and followed through was going to be a disaster. Lo and behold, that's exactly what we saw on the ground. And so I think that it's going to take more of us digging through this report that they have to demonstrate the facts that what really occurred, in my view, is that the intelligence community told Joe Biden that immediate withdrawal, the way he was going about it, was going to be a disaster for our country. It was not going to be carried out well. It was going to empower the Taliban. And his actions led to the death of 13 men and women in our military, and it led to us losing $85 billion in equipment and losing so much more with respect to Afghanistan overall.
So, Congressman, the Biden administration had 8 months. They could have delayed this. They could have done it a different way. But they're blaming the Trump administration for setting this up. They did not have to pull the trigger on the withdrawal.
No, they did not have to pull the trigger. That's something that we've known for quite some time. And so, look, I'm glad that Chairman Comer is going to open this up. There was a closed briefing for oversight members last Congress. Nancy Pelosi did not want that hearing to be an open hearing. And obviously, you know why, because Joe Biden rushed to judgment. Frankly, he wanted a photo op on September 11th of 2021. That's what he was trying to get. And it turned into a complete disaster for America in that part of the world, in that region. He did not have to rush. He could have taken time. I believe that Admiral Milley and Secretary Austin, in my opinion, they advocated for us to keep troops on the ground, about 2,500 troops, which would have been holdovers from the Trump administration position, to make sure that the Taliban would actually adhere to the deal that they had negotiated with then President Trump at the time.
Congressman, I want to shift to some more news coming off of Capitol Hill today. Congressman Jim Jordan, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, issued subpoenas to a former New York Special Assistant District Attorney who apparently advised the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg in his prosecution of President Trump. What do you make of this news?
I think it's important for us to dig into this. Look, you have obviously a district attorney's office in Manhattan where it seems like the culture and the ideas have just been to get Donald Trump, regardless of whatever else is going on, especially considering the fact that the same office has downgraded many violent felonies to misdemeanors and is not prosecuting a lot of misdemeanors altogether. So I think this is a first step to understand what's actually going on in this DA's office, because it is the purview of the Judiciary Committee to make sure that you don't have a two-tiered system of justice in the United States, and especially not a political system of justice in the United States.
Well, and apparently this individual who had worked at the department resigned because Braggs would not indict the president. Of course, after he resigned, he apparently, according to the information, served as kind of a special advisor helping with this investigation and this pursuit of President Trump. He was asked to appear before the committee and provide whatever information he could, but was advised by Bragg not to show up to the committee, so he's refused to, which is what has led to this subpoena. What do you think he might be hiding?
I think what he might be hiding is a demonstration of just how crass and disgusting the culture is in the Manhattan DA's office. Alvin Bragg can say what he wants about how he doesn't want anything impeding his investigation. But if you just read the indictment, you see that this whole entire situation is a political circus dressed up as a criminal prosecution. And so we're going to need some information about what actually is happening in this DA's office. And another piece of information is, was the local DA's office getting information from various agencies of the federal government to help move this weak and flimsy and political indictment along?
We shouldn't be surprised if we do find out that is the case when we had the White House and the Biden administration working with the National School Boards Association to write a letter that alleged that, or actually accused parents involved in education of being domestic terrorists.
You're absolutely correct. And that's why I don't put anything past not just the White House, but some people in the agencies. It has been a travesty how the American people have been treated. And so now they move towards this political indictment of their political adversary. It's really atrocious, and it shouldn't stand in America. So, House Republicans, we're going to investigate it, and we're going to go from there and let the facts speak for themselves.
Congressman, just got about a minute left, but yesterday the House Speaker met with the President of Taiwan, China making a lot of noise over that. You've introduced legislation to ban funding nuclear exchanges with China. Do we need to be treating China as an adversary as opposed to a competitive economic partner?
I believe that we do. They, in some respects, that's how they treat us and that's how they act towards us. And so we have to take the threat of an aggressive China seriously. There was a time where, these different memorandums of understanding were needed, but not anymore. They're the second largest economy in the world. They're the second largest military superpower in the world. Something tells me they can fend for themselves when it comes to technology and so on and so forth. But we need to actually get back into the mode of competition with China and trying to maintain our status as the world's superpower.
I could not agree with you more. I think they are not to be trusted, and they have made their intentions, I think, very, very clear. Congressman Byron Donalds, always great to see you. Thank you for joining us today here on Washington Watch.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.